And so we start the second half at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swan. 38-7, Philadelphia. And they'll get the ball as Hansen falls down. And then the kick is bobbled and covered at the 31-yard line. As Derek Oden.
Well, I can only imagine that the Detroit Lions are going to come out fighting here in the second half. It doesn't take a very creative person to imagine what Wayne Fontes had to say to his ball club at halftime. Hansen slips and falls.
We've seen that twice tonight. And he hurt his hand.
Yeah, he sure did. He fell awkwardly on the left side. But if it's not bad enough, the Eagles, again, start with a football in really good field position. But I would look, if nothing else, for the Detroit Lions to play a whole lot more aggressively.
Rodney Peete goes to the air and throws high, intended for Calvin Williams. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I think that first call was just to let Detroit know we're not going to sit on the lead. We're not going to be running the football on every play. We're willing to put it in the air.
Turnovers, the big story in the first half. 3 of them converted into 21 points.
And then that half-ending debacle in the end zone where the Lions literally stand around and watch the Eagles convert a Hail Mary for a touchdown.
2nd and 10, Ricky Waters up to the 35. And again, just to update, Brett Perriman with a knee injury, and there he is, and he is obviously done for the day. He was carted off in the first quarter. And Barry Sanders has been a non-factor in the game.
Well, now that we've pretty much covered everything that's gone wrong with Detroit, we ought to credit Ray Rhodes and his Eagles because they have played a splendid first half. It's hard to imagine this ball club playing any better than they played in the first half.
3rd down and 6 from the 35-yard line. He throws, and it's dropped up at the 38-yard line by Fred Barnett. He can't hang on. Willie Clay with the coverage. And let's check in with Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Well, Al, when Wayne Fontes walked off the field, he said that the Detroit Lions are getting beat at every point and every aspect of the game. But inside the locker room, he was not overly emotional. He told his team, don't give up. If you don't think you can win, don't come out for the second half. Also, Tom Moore told me in the second half, look for a 2-minute game, a fast game for the entire second half. And also Wayne Fontes said, if Scott Mitchell is not playing well at the beginning of the third quarter, he will not hesitate to substitute him and pull him out. Al?
And they're going to have to start at their own 3-yard line after that Tom Hutton punt was down by Jerome Henderson. A 62-yard kick.
Testing the new auto stick system on the Eagle Vision is Test Pilot Captain Orlowski. You comfortable, sir?
I love the smell of a new car in the morning.
I'll take that as a yes.
Engaging auto stick. No clutch, easy to shift.
No bulky oxygen masks.
Amazing control, even without the wings.
You don't get out of the F-16 much, do you, Flyboy? And that's okay.
Test it yourself. Make the call. 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
When I got rid of my gray hair, I wanted a natural look, so I didn't take any chances. I used the sure thing for a natural look called Just for Men.
Apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. It's specially timed to blend away gray, bring back your natural look, and condition hair.
It's a sure thing.
Just for Men, the sure thing for a natural look. And now try Just for Men Color Gel for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. Brush in, rinse out. Just 5 minutes.
Hey, be careful with that running.
Let me show you what I've got in here.
Yes, this is list for school events. Oh, this is a thank you note. This is my mailing list. Be careful with that running. Financial stuff.
This is our checkbook.
My insurance policy, bank accounts. Be careful of the cat. Don't do that.
Repairmen who actually show up.
We have school records. Yeah, baseball scores, pizza places that deliver.
It may be chaos, but it's organized.
How come lawyers make so much? What is it about lawyers that makes people so mad? John Stossel takes on the legal profession. It's Judgment Day for lawyers, Tuesday.
Well, Lynn talked about the conceivability of a change. Don Mikowski, the magic man on the sideline, but you don't want to think about coming into a game when you're down 31 in the third quarter.
Or giving the hook to the man who rewrote the Detroit Lions passing record book.
Sure. There's McCoskey, and they better ask him first.
First down at the 4-yard line. Scott Mitchell swings one out, and it's dropped by Barry Sanders.
They're liable to go to Magic, and he's liable to say, for what? For who?
Well,
why me?
That drop ball, even by Barry Sanders, there kind of typifies what can go wrong will go wrong when it starts to happen like this. The wheels totally coming off the Detroit Lions machine.
Second down and 10 at the 4-yard line early in the third quarter. 38-7 Philadelphia. And Mitchell under pressure. Couldn't get that one away.
Near two-pointer there.
Third down. How do you figure? Detroit, the hottest team in the league, 7 straight wins. Philadelphia looked pretty awful last week against Chicago. And then you have today's game.
Well, thanks for looking at me, Frank. I was waiting for you to explain that. First of all, one of the reasons is Philadelphia has been a great deal more physical than has Detroit. They have dominated the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively, and they capitalized early on some really poor passes by Scott Mitchell. He's gotten off to a horrible start.
Third down and 10. And that's almost picked off. It seems as if there are nothing but white shirts around Barry Wilburn that time.
Let's go back to what we said earlier. I think the Detroit Lions came in here. They'd won 7 in a row. They were on a big-time roll. They were reading about themselves everywhere they looked. They were the team that could go all the way. I think they just came in there so overconfident. And that really goes back to the coaching job. You have got to recognize that might happen. You've got to get their attention. This is the team that came in here totally full of themselves, and they have had it really put to them.
Royals bangs one out of the end zone. It will be fair caught at the 49-yard line by Witherspoon, and that's where the Eagles will take possession with 13:37 left in the third.
No one can save you now.
Hey, bet we could.
Fools, we will defeat you and take your Miller Lite. Not if we choose the weapon. Paper football, very clever. You kick off.
It's good. We are saved.
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. You are worthy opponents. Let us celebrate. I know a good sports bar around the corner. Life is good.
United Artists invites you to leap into the new year with a Bond. James Bond.
No. No more foreplay. Bond. Only Bond. Precisely.
GoldenEye, rated PG-13, now playing.
Let's look at the Magnum Power sales event one word at a time. Magnum, as in Magnum engines, as in Dodge Dakota pickup, a little bigger, a lot better. Power, we're talking Dodge, overall the most powerful line of truck engines on the planet. Sales, how about up to $3,000 off Dakota? An event? Well, that means this special offer ends sooner than later at America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
Redford, Phoenix, and Poitiers.
There isn't a government on this planet that wouldn't kill us all for that thing.
Monday at 8:30, 7:30 Central. Sneakers on ABC.
Independence Hall, all lighted up during the holiday season. I thought that was, wait a minute, is that City Hall? That's City Hall, okay. The Fool.
Mayor Rendell looking on. Jeffrey Laurie.
First down from the 50-yard line as Garner swings to the outside and gets pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Ryan McNeil is there for the coverage. 31 points for the Eagles in the second quarter alone. Second highest one-quarter total in NFL postseason history.
You'd think this was a Super Bowl.
You would have. The only bigger explosion would have been 35 by Washington against Denver in the Super Bowl following the '87 season.
That was 22, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Because We were there.
We were there.
Jack Murphy.
Kings of the blowouts. 2nd and 5. Charlie Garner. That was the game I mentioned before. Barry Wilburn had 2 interceptions in that game, but all you'll remember is Doug Williams, the fantastic day, and
Timmy Smith.
Ricky Sanders had a tremendous day, and Timmy Smith.
MVP, what, 200, 203, 204, something like that?
On the ground, and they blew out after Denver had taken a 10-0 lead. Washington scored 42 unanswered points. 3rd down and 5. Spielman looking on from the sideline. 3rd and 5 at the 45 with Waters in motion. Pete. Waters. They do it again.
What a brilliant design play, though. That had to come from something they picked up against the Lions defense. They've got Ricky Waters locked up with Mike Johnson. They brought him in motion. He turned up, and Rodney Peete wasn't looking anywhere on the football field. He knew the Waters was going to be there, and this is fine coaching.
Ricky's taking a victory lap.
He knew he would be there. Waters locked up with the linebacker, Mike Johnson. That's a no contest.
Gary Anderson for the point after.
Falling behind, moved into being embarrassed. That's moved into being humiliated. And there's a lot of football yet to be played.
Pennzoil Performax 100 Synthetic Motor Oil presents the 100% protection play.
The Hogs are a Washington Redskin tradition, and their legend as the Great Protectors was born on this play when they powered a path through the Dolphin defense, allowing running back John Riggins to clinch Super Bowl 17.
The 30, the 20, he's gone! He's gone! Touchdown, Washington Redskins! You got the winning color!
When it comes to getting the oil change, it's basically a no-brainer. I mean, I always use Pennzoil. If you don't keep something lubricated, it's not going to last.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
1997's motor oil now. Pennzoil leads the way again, already meeting the higher engine protection standards of Ilsac GF2, recommended by car manufacturers for most American and Japanese vehicles in 1997.
Let's look at the Magnum Power Sales event one word at a time. Magnum, as in Magnum Engines, as in Dodge Ram, ranked most appealing pickup by J.D. Power & Associates. Power, overall the most powerful line of truck engines on the planet. Sales, save on 5.2 and 5.9 liter V8s, up to $670, or $500 on Cummins diesel. And event, it's the first time America's hottest pickups have ever been on sale like this. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
Tonight, it's America's biggest bonehead in a brand new adventure.
Did you hear that?
The network television premiere of Ernest Rides Again tonight on ABC.
I think it's safe to say that that is the most unhappy person in the state of Pennsylvania right now. William Clay Ford, the owner of the Detroit Lions, whose high hopes are being shattered here at the vet.
Alan Williams takes the kickoff and gets dragged down at the 18-yard line.
When it starts to go this way for a football team, you see swarming type tackles. And we'll get a face mask call against Philadelphia, but everyone wants to be a part of the act.
Take a look at the possessions for Detroit. Punt, interception, then a touchdown, punt, 2 picks, and 2 more punts.
And look at the time. Look at the fourth one was 7 plays. That is the longest possession they have had today. They dropped then to 6, and then 5, 4, and the rest of them 3s and a 2. That is just an embarrassing offensive output by any team, even an average offensive team, much less a record-breaking offensive collection like the Lions have put on the field here today.
And they've taken Sanders out of the game, and they've taken Herman Moore out of the game. Moore has 2 catches for 12 yards. Sanders 8 rushes for 25 yards. First down at the 33. Herman Moore makes his third catch and picks up a first down. Well, we mentioned Ray Rhodes last night telling his team this is about manhood and all of the rest. Here's a guy whose team didn't figure to be in the playoffs, but they're here, and he's clearly telling his guys it's just not good enough to get to the playoffs.
He told them that. I don't want to hear one word about we're lucky to be here. He said this is just the beginning. I'll be disappointed if we don't move on into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl.
This is no fluke either. Ray Rhodes is here to stay.
First and 10 from the 45-yard line. Mitchell comes back the other way. And flag is down. Herman Moore taken out of bounds there by Bobby Taylor.
Tenth-round draft pick of the Giants back in 1979. Played defensive back, played wide receiver for the 49ers, and seemingly everywhere he went, things around him improved, and this is something they discovered in research.
Illegal hands to the face, 94 defense, penalties decline, first down.
That's remarkable. Yeah, you talk about a rollover. Look at that. 34 players are here this year that weren't here last year. Just in one season, if you exclude the two expansion teams, nobody else in this league even came close to that.
No assistants. Well, why keep him? Because he wasn't going to have enough personnel around that they knew.
Just wonder how there were enough hours in the day to get it all done.
Brand new coaching staff at the 33-yard line. And that's intercepted. Greg Jackson. 4 picks of Mitchell. Jackson taken down at the 46-yard line.
Again, keep in mind, Mitchell only had 12 in 16 games. He has 4 tonight.
Scott Mitchell pleading his case with whatever official he can get to listen. No amount of words are going to make this one come back.
We'll try to see what Mitchell saw. I think he probably was complaining that one of his receivers was held or interfered with.
First down at the 46-yard line. Waters. Scroggins flag down.
A flag coming from deep downfield, and it'll work against the Eagles.
And Don Mikowski is preparing to loosen up.
Holding. 83 offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Ed West.
Looks to me like Scott Mitchell is saying why. I think Scott Mitchell might have just been informed that he's being yanked. Hate to venture a guess, but he was plainly mouthing the words why. And I think we know why. Don Mikowski's warming up.
First and 20, Waters to the 39-yard line.
Waters putting on a bit of a show now.
I think of all the things and all the different thoughts and dreams that went through Scott Mitchell's head about what might transpire here today, I'll guarantee you this never entered his mind. Here's a tape again, what happened just moments ago. Scott Mitchell, maybe the worst day of his career. Certainly in the worst situation.
Doesn't matter that he's from Utah either. Caught up at the 45-yard line by Fred Barnett. And Fred Barnett with a flag down gets run out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Well, you can't blame Scott Mitchell in a minute. He's not out there tackling either. And that was pretty feeble.
Just an all-out blitz by the Lions. You know, that's going to put pressure in the secondary on the guys to make the tackles, especially on the corners. And that time Ryan McNeil wasn't able to come up with the tackle. You got to take chances. The Eagles came with everybody up the middle, and that locks up the corners. And with that blitz comes the pressure.
Face mask. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. No number reported. First down.
That was Ryan McNeil over in the left corner who drew the flag. Right there, number 47 got just a hand on Fred Barnett's mask right in front of the official, and there's the flag.
10 minutes to play, third quarter. Philadelphia leading 45-7. First and 10 with Garner in the backfield. And guys, the way this one is going, it starts to beg the question. It appeared Wayne Fontes was safe. He went from 3-6 to 10-6. And there's an injured Eagle. It's Anton Davis, but it's the fourth time in 5 years they've been to the playoffs. They're getting ripped. And Wither Wayne, 9:45 to go in the third.
Kevin, what happened?
I broke my leg.
Does it hurt?
Feels a lot better now.
Doctor must have given you something strong.
Yeah, Tylenol. Extra strength.
Tylenol? For a broken bone?
Yeah, it's working great. Doc says it's all I need.
More than aspirin, more than ibuprofen. For the pain of broken bones, doctors recommend Tylenol the most.
By the way, how'd you break it?
Laundry. Don't ask.
If you have what's overall the most powerful line of truck engines on the planet, if you have better resale value than Ford, Chevy, or GMC, if you have what it takes to get J.D. Power & Associates' most appealing pickup award, you're probably not going to put your trucks on sale. But then, if you're Dodge, you like to change the rules. Announcing the first ever Magnum Power Sales event with savings up to $670 and low lease rates on America's hottest pickups. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
Is Red Dog better tasting premium beer? Well, yeah. It's brewed without any fancy gimmicks by Plank Road to be gold, bold, and uncommonly smooth. But hey, it's your call.
Anton Davis still down on the ground, being attended to by Otto Davis and the Eagle training staff. And they can ill afford to lose him at right tackle.
Our coverage of the NFC wildcard playoff game is being brought to you by Jeep, maker of the new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Digital Equipment Corporation. Digital, whatever it takes. And Miller Lite, when you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. And life is pretty great right now for the Philadelphia Eagles, who, if Green Bay beats Atlanta tomorrow, and they're heavily favored, would make a trip to Dallas next week. If the Packers win tomorrow, the Packers go to San Francisco. The Eagles would go to Dallas.
The Eagles, what was it, 3 weeks ago, beat Dallas right here at Veterans Stadium.
Right.
Boy, and there's some good news right there. It doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the legs. When you see somebody down on the ground for that long, that's one of the things that really concerns you, is that maybe it's some type of a leg injury. But Davis looks like he's walking without a limp. Big guys like that kind of sway when they walk. 6'4", 335 pounds of Mr. Davis.
Mo Elowanibi takes his spot at tackle. Second down and 11 as Charlie Garner gets the ball to the 23-yard line, tackled by Chris Spielman. Well, Rodney Peete came off a terrible game in Chicago last week. Scott Mitchell came off a brilliant second half of the year. And then you have today's comparison.
Wonderful indiction for Rodney Peete, who had that bad day against Philadelphia. He has just been brutalized in the media around here, and he has put on quite a show tonight. And there's the man who is expecting Mark Felicity at any moment to deliver their first baby.
Third and 10. The catch is made by Fred Barnett inside the 15-yard line, but a little short of the first down.
As it turns out, Randall could have gone.
Now, if Felicity's a week late, you still have the problem next week in Dallas or San Francisco.
Won't be so glaring, though, with Rodney Peete coming off this game as opposed to the one last week. He struggled so mightily in Chicago. Has to be happy for Rodney Peete. He was 6th-round draft pick of the Lions back in 1989, on and off starter for many years, tore his Achilles in 91, went to Dallas last year and arrived to Philadelphia to take over here for the Eagles in the 4th game of the season.
32-yard field goal attempt, and Gary Anderson has just tied the record set by Raphael Septien, 15 consecutive postseason field goals. Tack on 3 more and make it 48-7 Philadelphia.
From IBM. Welcome to the future.
Now, to each man who shaves, there's an edge all his own. Only Edge Gel has 8 custom formulas, from tough beards to sensitive skin, for a close, comfortable shave. Ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort. That's the Edge.
Ah, the fresh autumn air. Where are those darn flashlights?
Ow! Dependable Duracell batteries. Nothing lasts longer.
Hey, where's mine?
The Copper Top. No battery is stronger, longer.
It's Gus's Guide to the Game. Going deep. The most exciting part of the game.
Begin with the right call.
Then the technique.
Notice how I extend the thumb and forefinger, palm outstretched, to support the massive weight of the ultimate deep dish.
The ultimate deep dish. Extra thick, extra zesty. Call now and get a large 1-topping deep dish, just $9.99.
Sully, extend the pinky.
The man is a pro.
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Happiest place in town right now. 48-7. The Eagles on top, routing the Detroit Lions, who came into the game favored by about 3. As Gary Anderson, who just kicked a record-tying 15th consecutive postseason field goal, will send it down toward Ron Rivers and Alan Williams. 8-yard line, Alan Williams. Fumble.
Philadelphia is going to get their first break of the night.
James Willis, number 50, was the man who created the fumble, and we've yet to
The only thing we can count on here is that I'm sure that whoever the Philadelphia guy in there is fighting harder than the Detroit guy. And he comes up with the ball. If that's indicative of the way this game has gone, it's no surprise that when it's all said and done, that somebody with an Eagle uniform comes out of there with a football.
Lions' 5th turnover.
Looks like Chris T. Jones.
Special teams coach Danny Smith. A lot of these assistants don't ring familiar to you. Another thing Ray Rhodes did, a brand new staff and a lot of guys out of the college ranks.
Somebody puts a big shot on it there. I think it's James Willis, number 50 of the Eagles, comes in and puts a huge hit. And that's what knocks the ball loose. And this is unthinkable as the Eagles now try for over 50.
With almost 23 minutes left in the game. Waters for about 5. Talked about the coaching staff of the Eagles. A guy like Danny Smith was an assistant at Georgia Tech, and for the most part, Rhodes, in a complete turnover of assistants, went about half and half. Half the guys had pro experience. The other half were just hungry guys out of the college ranks.
Well, what did Ray tell us? He said, I wanted teachers. I didn't want guys coming to me and saying, this guy's dumb. This guy can't figure it out. Or I expected him to know how to do this. I wanted teachers, guys who would pay attention to even the smallest of details.
2nd and 7, Ricky Waters.
Even at the key spots, too. John Groden, the offensive coordinator, you wouldn't know whether to listen to him or burp him. He looks like a child. And again, Emmett Thomas, they elevated him to defensive coordinator, got him from the Washington Redskins. There's Groden on the right. Does he look like a choir boy? And, of course, Ray Rhodes knew him from the 49ers. He spent a couple of years out there. And Emmett Thomas on the left, the all-pro cornerback for the Chiefs, an assistant down in Washington for so many years. And what a job they've done with 34 players were turned over in 1 year.
Third down and 9. They flank Garner wide left. Rodney Peete. And that's incomplete. Fourth down. So Gary Anderson will come in to try to put him over 50. A live shot of downtown Philadelphia on the penultimate night of the year.
You know, while we're talking about the Eagles coaches, we also ought to pass along our condolences to Dick Jamieson, their running backs coach, who lost his wife Rosie just a little over a week ago, and is having to fight his way through that. And the team has been behind him. And boy, this is here's some welcome salve for that open wound.
40-yard field goal attempt by Gary Anderson, and that is 16 consecutive postseason field goals. And a brand new NFL record for the longtime Pittsburgh Steeler who came over. And you look at Jamieson, whose brother Bob has been an ABC News correspondent for some time.
And Dick, an old friend of mine, was an assistant coach under Jim Hannafin with the St. Louis Cardinals, and one of the game's really good guys, and his heart's broken.
What an eclectic collection, though, of coaches Ray Rhodes brought in. And then to bring them all together, having never worked together, bring in the new players, kind of marvelous job. He's so happy about it. This smiling and beaming on the sidelines for us.
Rhodes is one of those totally workaholic coaches, a guy who puts in 18 to 20 hours a day. And in fact, we understand that some of the toll booth operators will call the local sports talk station to let them know what time Ray came across the bridge to head into his office. 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
And did he ever leave? We asked him if he ever slept there. He said, yeah. He said, but I don't have a bed there. When I went to sleep, I slept in my chair.
What if he smiles in his dreams?
12-yard line of Willie Clay will run this one back, but not very far. Bobby Taylor.
I know one thing, Ray doesn't have a lot of experience with lappers, and that's what he's got on his hands here. And in the playoffs, when does he start taking his frontline guys out and start pointing towards next week?
Don Mikowski comes in. We'll point toward tomorrow, New Year's Eve. The Sugar Bowl comes your way from New Orleans. Virginia Tech takes on Texas, sponsored by Nokia. And then Ohio State and Tennessee, each ranked 4th in separate polls. That's why you have a pair of 4s there New Year's Day in the Citrus Bowl. Don Mikowski and the Magic Man almost had his first pass picked off. Herman Moore, the intended receiver. Bobby Taylor was there. Also on New Year's Day on Monday at 4:30 Eastern Time, USC taking on Northwestern. The biggest story of the year, the Northwestern Wildcats and what they have done winning the Big Ten title. Coming away from Pasadena.
Boy, you saw Herman Moore after that pass motioning back to Don Mikowski. I want the ball over here, not back there.
2nd and 10. The Magic Man throws, and that's incomplete. Zordich might have gotten a hand on it. Intended for Aubrey Matthews.
Can you imagine a receiver telling Bobby Lane that, the Detroit Lions quarterback of the 50s? He would have eaten the football in the huddle.
Well, those were two not very well choreographed offensive pass plays that we saw on 1st and 2nd down by the Detroit Lions, and their new quarterback, Don Mikowski, a veteran, but put in really a bad spot. Nobody wants to go into a football game under these conditions.
3rd down and 10. Eagles leading 51-7. Good coverage, but Moore is able to make the catch despite double coverage.
That's a great catch. Bobby Taylor was there getting support from the inside. Tried to take away the outside. Michael Zordich.
And not an easy
Giving
throw.
support.
Not an easy throw for a cold quarterback. Deep out to the sideline, and Magic puts it right there. But again, look at Taylor. It's hard to play much better than he is.
Makowski over the outstretched hand of Taylor, and Herman Moore off to the races, and it's a touchdown.
I'm sure glad I said that about Bobby Taylor. Well, all they needed was Makowski.
68 yards.
I think Taylor loses track of Herman Moore when Makowski scrambles out. He really bites on the fact that Makowski scrambles up. Moore makes a move towards the sideline, and when Herman goes deep, it's all over.
Makowski with a really fine touch, because the 6'3" Bobby Taylor almost got up there for the deflection. Good touch by Makowski coming off the bench cold. Hadn't had that much time to warm up.
Bobby learned a big-time lesson there.
Hansen for the point after. That's a good time to learn a lesson, though.
Sure it is.
When you're up 51-7. And that makes it 51-14. Herman Moore 68 yards, and that gives him 6 catches for $125 on the day.
Hard to imagine you'd get 6 balls for 125 yards and you'd be down 51-14.
Yep.
Nightmare once again for Barry Sanders. We talked about his playoff game last year against the Green Bay Packers. -1 rushing. 1,500-yard rushing. 7 straight seasons now over 1,000 yards, and truly one of the all-time great ball carriers ever to play this game.
Well, we started to talk about it before, the Font situation, where Wayne pretty much in effect given the ultimatum to make the playoffs after they had lost to Atlanta. They reeled off 7 straight, but you wonder what a performance like this, what it does to the minds of both William Clay Ford and his son, who's assuming a larger role in the operation of this franchise.
Well, there's no question that Wayne Font's ally of the two is William Clay Ford Sr. They are friends, and Mr. Ford is put in a tough spot when it comes to Wayne. And you're right, there will be those who love the Lions and who follow the Lions and who talk about the Lions that will take the attitude and take the point that this loss negates that 7-game winning streak. You know, right or wrong, there will be those that take that stance.
Derek Witherspoon from the 7-yard line brings it back to the 21-yard line, and the flag goes down after the play. Late hit. Owens.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, number 90 of the kicking team. 15 yards, first down.
Dan Owens venting some of the frustration which is felt up and down that Lion bench.
There was an awkward looking play. I can't imagine he'd run in there that late and intentionally. All right, that there's the tackle. He's down. You can only assume he didn't see him go down and get up. Nobody in their right mind would hit a guy like that that far after the play.
I think that's exactly it. He didn't realize the tackle had been made
and didn't hear the whistle. Derek Witherspoon picks up a yard or 2. Scott Mitchell, who would have ever figured Mitchell would be out, Makowski would be in, and Ray Rhodes could spend the last 20 minutes of the game resting his regulars. As we see Witherspoon in the backfield. Rodney Peete is still in there, though. They tried to engage Rodney this week in some talk about the Lions and his frustration and all that. Rodney said, I'll have none of that. Wayne Fonts and the Lions gave me a chance as they drafted him in the 6th round in 1989. And he loses the football.
I think Rodney got it back. He did. Boy, Porcher almost took the handoff.
No, Detroit saying they've got it.
Lion ball.
They get the call.
Tremendous penetration by Robert Porcher into the Philadelphia backfield.
Lions down by 37, making their move.
There's Porcher, gets a great jump on the ball. Barrett Brooks, the left tackle, tries to down block on him. McIntyre in front of him pulls. I think Rodney had it for a moment there and then had it taken away.
Fumbling, nothing new to Rodney. He was second in the league to Dave Craig in fumbles this season. That was Philadelphia's first turnover. Mikowski throws, and that catch is made by Aubrey Matthews. He's out of bounds at the 20-yard line with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter.
And Rodney had 13 of them, and 10 of them came on sacks. Well, he's not at all happy.
No, sir. Not when you watch the 44-point lead get shaved to 37.
This is where you try and put it up there to Henry Moore. They follow their pattern.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. And that's caught at the 15-yard line. A little 5-yard catch over the middle made by Aubrey Matthews.
A deceptive move there by Mikowski. And they go into the hurry-up offense, their 2-minute drill, or whatever you want to call it.
Drop. Sloan couldn't hang on, the tight end. Make it 3rd down and 5.
Mikowski's last big year in 1989 with Green Bay, over 4,000 yards that year. And then, of course, he had the shoulder problems, the injury troubles. He had a good performance early in the year against the Chicago Bears for the Detroit Lions. Was instrumental in that win. And
third and 5. Looking for the first down, and he has it. Mikowski out of bounds at about the 7-yard line.
Maybe compounding Wayne's problems will now be a quarterback controversy. Mikowski moves the Lions once again. I'm not sure that Mikowski's performance at this stage of the game is going to cause Scott Mitchell to be sent to the bench. And quite frankly, guys, as we all know, Wayne Fonz has bigger fish to fry than a quarterback controversy.
Yes, sir. And Mitchell will be making about $4 million next year. A first and goal. The catch is made by Johnny Morton. And the former UFC Trojan scores and then has the ball shoved back at him.
And Morton's lucky that he didn't get flagged right there. He threw the ball at Barry Milburn, and that's taunting. That's
his first reception also of the night.
He's lucky he got away with that. That's it was kind of a casual flip, but no less it went right at Wilburn. That's a no-no in the NFL.
Hansen for the extra point. And that makes it 51-21 with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to play in the third quarter. Veterans Stadium, the last time a postseason game was held here would have been following the 1990 campaign. Buddy Ryan was the coach. Washington came in, and Ryan in that game started Randall Cunningham and put him on the bench in the second half.
And that was Buddy's last game, was it not? Here in Philadelphia?
Here in Philadelphia.
Could very well have been.
I believe it was.
On to, I think, out of the game for a year. They went to Houston.
I think that was the end of the Buddy Ryan era. Al's got the fingers working.
Right.
Al's got the
86, 87, yeah, 5 years. You're right. Then Richie Kotite came in for 4.
He went for 4 years. Buddy went to the horse farm for a year and back to Houston and on to Arizona. Back to the horses.
That was Buddy's last game.
That's right. Well, Buddy took him into the playoffs 3 times. Couldn't win a playoff game. The Eagles have not had a great deal of success in postseason play. The last time they did win a postseason game was under Richie Kotite at New Orleans.
The Eagles here got a lot of guys up front. They're expecting the possibility here of an onside kick. They'll get it.
Hansen sends a bouncing ball to the 12-yard line, and Rob Carpenter gets run out of bounds at the 22 with 3 minutes and 11 seconds remaining. And that wet turf coming into play on almost every kickoff today.
Kicking is becoming hazardous to your health here.
Yeah, Hansen has taken
Veterans Stadium.
Some real dumps tonight.
Well, Anderson's gone down too.
Good advertisement for this new surface. The Flyers should play here. First down at the 22-yard line. Rodney Peete. Little 2-yard pass to Freddie Barnett. Second down. Still in the third quarter, the Eagles with 51 on the board against a team, the Detroit Lions, whose defense had gotten better in the latter stages of the season, and a team that had yielded only 34 points over their last 4 games total.
That's a little over 8-point average per game, and they have given up 51, and we still have a bunch of time to go.
Second down and 8.
There's a double clutch, I think, by Raleigh McKenzie, the center. He'll blame it on the wet turf. I'll guarantee you he'll blame it on the wet turf. That he didn't mean to have that ball move on him like that, but it just double clutched.
Prior to the snap, false start, illegal snap on the center, number 63. 5 yards, repeat second down.
You could make that out to be anything you want to. Watch the ball. He'll say that turf was so slick that ball just slipped. I put a little weight on it and it moved.
Sounds like you've done that.
You say whatever you have to say.
Second down and 13 from the 19-yard line. Rodney. Flag thrown at the end. Chris Spielman.
They love Rodney tonight, don't they? He's taken a lot of abuse over the past week. You ask him why, he says, goes with the position.
Unnecessary roughness. 54 defense. 15 yards. First down.
That's particularly out of frustration on the part of Chris Spielman. He's such a competitor. Loves to win.
Randall Cunningham loosening up.
He actually, certainly not going to hurt him that way, but
Spielman had run 30 yards, and Pete goes to the ground, and Spielman is already leaving his feet when Pete hits the ground, and he basically goes over the top of it.
I think he made an effort.
Pretty weak.
He made an effort to miss him.
I think it's bad enough they're getting beat this badly.
Ricky Waters for a gain of 6 to the 42-yard line. Spielman makes the tackle with a minute and 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter and 16 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the Lions season. The vet. Can another game be played here this year? Yes, but only if Atlanta were to get to the NFC Championship game.
You're going to say if Miami kept winning.
Miami kept winning, right. It's another way for a game to be played here. To the 39-yard line. Since the Eagles came into the playoffs seeded 4th and Detroit 5th, the only way you could play another home game would be for a lower seeded team to advance to that game. So it would have to be Atlanta. Otherwise, they're on the road. They're certainly on the road next week.
And again, as you mentioned earlier, we have to wait until tomorrow's games are played to find out who plays where.
WPVI, our local affiliate, Philadelphia, providing the helicopter and giving us the scenics of Veterans Stadium. No gain on the play here. It'll be 4th down. Ricky Waters, the ball carrier.
Oh, the crowd beseeching Ray Rhodes to go for it. nursing this 30-point lead. You think he should take a chance?
Well, they don't have to run another play before the quarter ends, so they'll turn around and make their call on 4th down as the clock ticks down. And the third quarter is history. Philadelphia 51, Detroit 21. And back we come to Philadelphia after this word from our ABC stations.
I think he's going to go for it. After him, we'll really be up.
Beginning January 8th, Murder One moves to Mondays. And because great shows are rare, we'd like you to take just a few minutes on January 8th and let us catch you up on what TV Guide calls the best new show of the year. We really think it's worth it. Stephen Bochco's Murder One, Mondays at 10, 9 Central, starting January 8th on ABC.
The BLT. It's an American classic. But how can you make it more interesting? Well, you can make it exotic. You can make it friendly. You can even make it finger food. But if you're Taco Bell, you make it a taco. Introducing the BLT Soft Taco and 2 other classic bacon tastes loaded with bacon. The Bacon Cheeseburger Burrito and the Chicken Club Burrito. The Taco Bell Sizzlin' Bacon menu starting at 99 cents. But hurry, unlike most classics, they won't be around for long.
Unfortunately, not every landing is a soft one. If you end up on a collision course with a not-so-heavenly body, choose Daniel's Body Shop. We'll put our best crew on it in the Garmat paint booth, which means, who knows, it's very technical, but the end result is a smooth, precision finish in less time, so we can get you back into orbit. Daniel's Body Shop, 320 South 8th. Quality that's out of this world.
This is KRDO-TV, Colorado Springs, Pueblo.
We start the 4th quarter at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Eagles on top 51-21. 4th down and 1 for the Eagles at the Lion 39-yard line. 3 first-half interceptions turned into touchdowns have written an early finish to Detroit's playoff hopes. It was 38-7 at the half.
For Detroit, a nightmare on Broad Street. Seem to have the chains tangled up on the sidelines here.
They brought him from Detroit.
Look at this. What's going on here?
I've had pasta that was straighter than that.
Knit 1, pearl 2. Betsy Ross. That's when you really need Betsy Ross, right?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
It's Philadelphia. I don't know.
We have a whole quarter to go. Don't lose it now. Don't lose it now. I know it's hard. Keep it together.
Just warming up for the Pro Bowl.
Pass and Stowe, by the way, were the
Liberty
2
Bell?
gentlemen who recast the Liberty Bell. That's not what you're supposed to do after you throw it and put it away. They were, I believe, they recast it in 1750 something.
Tom Hutton to punt, and it is batted at the 1-yard line by Jerome Henderson, but into the end zone for a touchback. Third quarter stats as Don Mikowski comes in to guide the Lions. 408 total yards, and of course the turnovers, 5 for Detroit.
You remember way back in the first quarter we talked about turnovers and their impact in the playoff games.
Well, the big disparity there, 146 rushing yards for the Eagles to only 33 for Detroit.
From the 20-yard line, Mikowski. Another pick. That's William Thomas.
Number 8 for Thomas.
Touchdown.
Poorly thrown ball behind the receiver, batted into the air, and William Thomas played that like a running back. He didn't look like a linebacker looking for somebody to make a tackle. He looked like a running back trying to find the end zone, and he did.
Well, that's the second interception that he's run back for a touchdown already this year. And amazingly, for a linebacker who's really a very good blitzer, that's his 8th sack. I mean, not his 8th sack, his 8th interception.
He's got a few sacks too, Dan.
Yeah, but look at that. Just snags it one hand.
We'll see him in Honolulu, his first Pro Bowl.
Now we're working our way towards 60.
Well, we have 79 total points in the game, equaling the most total points ever in an NFL postseason game. 58-21.
It's not over yet.
Ford introduces the all-new Taurus. For those who want to have it all and take it all with them. For those who have an eye for design and a passion for performance. And for those who want the latest in safety, including standard dual airbags and available anti-lock brakes. The all-new Ford Taurus wagon. For those whose dreams are a little bigger.
Making the dream come true.
The internet will be the biggest thing since the Industrial Revolution. The internet will be just a chat line for physicists and video game addicts. Someday, your web address will be everything. One day on the internet, the Colonel's secret formula will whiz past the secret formula for Pepsi. What will the internet be? No one knows. But we engineer systems in anticipation of this vast uncertainty. So you can approach it as one huge opportunity. Digital. Whatever it takes.
Northwestern plays its first bowl game in 47 years. They go to war with the Trojans of USC in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. New Year's Day on ABC.
Mitchell and Moore and the Lions have watched themselves go down by 37, 58-21 with a lot of time left in the game, 14-33. Ron Rivers up to the 45-yard line. And I only mentioned a lot of time left in the game because of the shattering of the record book. You would think, as you take a look at the most points ever in a postseason game, those San Diego, Miami, and Buffalo, Houston games were both overtime games. So we have here the most points ever scored in regulation.
And they were competitive ball games, too.
Yeah.
Boy, this crowd's loving it, though. It's like a soccer crowd. Newfound love affair with the Eagles here in Philadelphia.
At least we don't need a moat from the 45-yard line. Barry Sanders picks up 9 to the 46. Mark Woodard makes the tackle. For the second year in a row, Barry Sanders has pretty much disappeared in a postseason game for Detroit.
Although the Lions have fallen so far behind so early, they've really had little opportunity to run him. They're running him now just to keep from throwing. This is not to win the ball game. This is just that their attempts at passing the football have been so pathetic. They're just trying to run Barry to keep from embarrassing themselves and run the clock and get out of Dodge.
That's fine with us. We're getting on to New Year's. Oh, what a nightmare for the Detroit Lions.
First down to the 40-yard line. Magic Man flings one out of bounds.
Well out of bounds.
We have golf for you. The Anderson Consulting World Championship of Golf comes your way tomorrow, 2 Eastern Time at 11 a.m. Pacific, right here on ABC. $1 million going to the winner of that tournament. Second down and 10 at the 40-yard line. What else is new? Zordich tackled by Lomas Brown.
You know, maybe he'll pull Mikowski and put Mitchell back in.
Pursued Greg Landry up. 7th turnover.
Sad, isn't it? Finding out you paid too much for your stereo. Circuit City. You can't find a lower price. We guarantee it.
There are definite reasons we created Ford Windstar to be the only minivan with available all-speed traction control and four-wheel anti-lock disc brakes. Reasons it has a wide stance for secure handling and also meets 1998 federal passenger car safety standards. We'd like to show you one more reason, but it's still a month or so away. Introducing the 1996 Ford Windstar, created for the most important people in the world.
People keep asking me, how does it feel to be Steve Young? Frankly, it hurts. Give me my Advil. Nothing has shown me that works better on aching muscles, or proven that it lasts longer. Advil's the one.
For sore muscles, more doctors recommend Advil than any other pain reliever.
Nasty game.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Say Old Lang Synes in 1995 with a New Year's Eve football party. Virginia Tech tackles the Texas Longhorns in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. New Year's Eve on ABC Sports.
Well, here was the scene. Randall Cunningham came into the game and was acknowledged by the partisans here in Philadelphia. You think he's carrying his beeper with him?
Well, and they gave him a tremendous hand because this is probably his last appearance at the Vet as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. He most certainly won't be back next year.
He gives the ball to Derek Witherspoon. So Randall in a relief role in relief of Rodney Sweet Pete.
The crowd's booing. They want Randall to air it out. They want him to either put it in the air or take off with it.
Yeah, it was a big move by Ray Rhodes. After the 4th game of the season with the Eagles down 1-3, benching Randall Cunningham, that was a very risky thing that he did, putting Rodney Peete in. Rodney Peete went 9-3 and got him into the playoffs. But this man has taken a lot of risk in his first year as a head coach.
2nd down and 8. Specialist is a yard short of the first down, taken down by Benny Blades.
Well, Ricky gets to sit down, and deservedly so. You know, we hate to make this sound like the Ray Rhodes show, but it's hard to overestimate what he has done with this football team and the coaching job that he's achieved so far here in '95. And he'll be the first to tell you, I don't want to hear about it. There's a long way to go. But this guy has made a mark in such a short period of time, and anybody who's around him or talks to him or has seen what he's done, you know he's here to stay. This is no flash in the pan.
3rd down and 1.
Yes, sir.
Randall.
Rockin' Randall Hank.
Oh, and then Clay comes in and knocks him down. Yeah. And a major brawl ensues.
Well, that was a huge cheap shot by the Lions.
What was that about? Randall with a little push and
but you know,
overzealousness at the end, and then Willie Clay came in and tackled him.
Boy, you just don't take a shot at a guy running like that.
Randall gave Willie Clay a little shove, but I don't think that would hardly justify what Clay did.
Well, Randall didn't like the fact that he got tackled by the head. But Willie Clay coming in, you'd have to assume that Willie Clay is going to be taking a leave here. Now, here's Mike Johnson is the linebacker who comes in and kind of grabs Randall by the head. But Randall just...
Oh, come on.
That's no big deal. Not to warrant that.
Personal foul. Late hit. 32 defense. He's disqualified.
No surprise.
Well, again, part of it frustration, and of course, part of it you have got to have control of what you're doing. And Ray Rhodes, like I told you, he was ready for a rumble himself.
Well, now
Ray wants Clay thrown in jail.
Just a minor shove on the part of Randall as he pushes Mike Johnson when he gets up. And watch this. Here comes Clay and Benny Blades.
Yeah, Randall's follow-through was a lot more than the push itself. You could see that Johnson barely flinched, and Clay's on his way to the Lions locker room.
I'd hurry if I was him.
To a Philadelphia shower.
First down at the 19-yard line. Witherspoon. Crowd chanting "Spoon" over the 11-yard line. Another
Withers
fracas.
Witherspoon.
Yeah, that's what they were. That's what they're chanting.
Witherspoon.
Well, you said Wither Lane a while ago. I thought is his name Spoon, and you were going Witherspoon.
Oh. And there's still 11:09 to go.
Wither the Lions defense as the Eagles barking up the 60s tree here.
The Lions defense has withered. Second down and 2. And
what are the...
Yeah, Corshey was there.
Oh, this might not have got off in time. We may have a delay.
They're saying Randall was in the grass.
Delay a game offense.
No. Delay. Yeah, there's a flag back in the end zone. When the field judge tosses it out, that's pretty much what it has to be when he throws it out before the snap.
This represents probably the lack of work with the starting unit Randall has. I'm a little hesitant. They've had close calls on the clock already, and that time they got him.
Most points by one team in a postseason game, the famous Bear-Washington game in 40, where Chicago won 73-0. Detroit against Cleveland in 57, and Philly against the Lions today. So this one will probably wind up number 2.
That same year, 57, was the last year the Lions won a road playoff game too, was it not?
At San Francisco, in that game in which they erased that 20-point deficit.
So that record remains intact.
Speaking of the 57 NFL championship, Frank.
The Detroit Lions. Bobby Lane was the quarterback, but he was hurt, and this is Tobin Rote, a familiar name. And Tobin Rote rolling out to give the Lions a 24-7 lead, hitting Steve Junker, number 88. They went on to win 59-14 in their 4th NFL championship. The team was really dominant with Bobby Lane and Cloyce Box, 2 of the 50s, winning 3 NFL championships. Boy, it's been a long time since then.
Derek Witherspoon heading towards the Eagles sideline as he was shaken up after that last play. Amazing. 10 minutes and 2 seconds remain in this rout. Beautiful look at the vet. And Herman reflective, and unfortunately it's
a lot of the glow off a great year, doesn't it?
Oh, sure does. What a terrible way to enter the offseason.
Third down and 5 now from the 14-yard line. 9:45 to go. And Charlie Garner gets taken down after a short gain for Spielman. Takes him to the turf. It'll be 4th down. And the coverage of today's game is being brought to you by Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today. Circuit City. Pepsid AC Acid Controller. You can be heartburn free with new Pepsid AC. And Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. Wayne Foss will need a lot of Pepsid AC after this one. 58-21. Gary Anderson now will try to make it 61-21 with a 32-yard field goal. And they'll try to make it 17 straight field goals in postseason play, but there's no play here. Whistle before the snap.
This is something that goes against Detroit.
Prior to the snap, timeout was called by Detroit. That's their first charge timeout.
to put the pressure, I presume, on Gary Anderson.
I think they might have had, well, I don't know, but they might have had too many men on the field.
I think they knew that we needed a commercial break.
We need more than that.
Thank you, Lions.
Every few years, the world gathers to witness an unparalleled sports spectacle, the Truckathlon. And to compete, you have to have a Ford Ranger 4x4, because you'll need its switch-on four-wheel drive for truck long jump. It's four-wheel anti-lock brakes for truck discus. And it's whopping 4-liter V6 for truck hurdles. The Ford Ranger 4x4. You can't win without one.
Next event, truck pole vault. Yes!
They were really growing up fast. Too fast. All Kelly talked about was going to high school, and all I could think about was paying for college. Sure, I played around with a few mutual funds, but I was no expert. So I started talking to someone who could help, a broker at Dean Witter.
We must plan for our client's future as if it were our own.
Funny, kids think their parents always have the right answers. I'm just making sure I do.
We measure success, one investor at a time.
Hey, Red Dog.
What?
Do you ever wonder why we're here?
Where?
You know, here. Why we exist?
No.
How come?
I got better things to think about.
But why are we the way we are? I mean, I'd give anything to be as big as you.
True. You ain't big, but you're real quick.
Quick? Yeah. I guess it all evens out then, huh?
Well, that might be pushing it. Red Dog.
Hey, Red Dog.
Yeah?
Full moon tomorrow night.
I'm there, buddy.
Nothing like animal imagery.
We want Dallas.
Couple of barnyard favorites there.
Yes, sir. 32-yard field goal attempt here for Gary Anderson. And that one is good. Flag is down, however. One more flag, and it's holding against Philadelphia.
Boy, now he's got to go for 3 in a row.
Yeah. And this one from 10 yards further back.
Holding 57 of the kicking team. 10 yards, repeat 4th down.
Well, we know his leg is warm anyway.
Mark Woodard, reserve linebacker for the Birds. So Gary Anderson has to do it again. Kicked one, it was good, but time had expired. Kicked another one. There's a timeout. Now a holding penalty, rather. Now we have to see if he can do the trifecta.
41 yards.
Looks awfully good.
Nope. Off to the right.
Whoa, Gary, too bad. That's a tough way for his streak to come to an end. Yeah, that's a shame.
He was planning on a little hook, as you ordinarily would get, and he got a straightaway and just outside the crossbar. Might have even grazed it a little, didn't it?
Work.
Body English.
No. Well, that's one of the very few things that have gone wrong for the Philadelphia Eagles tonight.
Philly leading 58-21. Ron Rivers is in the backfield. McCaskey to throw. That's tipped and incomplete all day long. The pressure's been put on. The secondary has done its job. The Eagle defense has created 7 turnovers. 2nd and 10. What a weird business. Wayne Fonts under so much pressure early. Then he went 7 straight, and he's the darling of Motown, and now he'll come home with his team having been annihilated. Ray Rhodes, his team given very little chance this year to do much, and they're going to either Dallas or San Francisco next. Catch made by David Sloan.
They will, wherever they go, will have the attention neither the 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys, because they are a for-real team. They are a team. They really not a team of stars. They just play well together, and it was a team that was molded by this man. He brought in, again, the most unlikely people to put together. Failures other places who just excelled here.
3rd down 3. Flags. And the catch is made by Ron Rivers, who takes the ball into Philadelphia territory and is finally ridden down inside the Eagle 40-yard line.
Well, multiple Eagles across the line of scrimmage, but no
Offside,
whistle.
93 defense. Penalties declined. 1st down.
We began today by telling you about the travails of dome teams playing playoff games on the road outside, and this will make it 12 straight losses for those teams. There's another dome team going outside tomorrow, the Atlanta Falcons at Green Bay.
That is really outside.
And yet another, Indianapolis going to San Diego. Rivers.
Although the trip to San Diego will seem the most dome-like.
Yes, it will. It will.
If you've got to play outside your dome, San Diego is a pretty good place to do it.
This wasn't a bad day here in Philadelphia after a pretty cold week. Sort of Maui-like late this afternoon here.
This is beach weather here in Philadelphia for December 30th.
Maui, Saskatchewan.
Down on the field before the game, the Eagles were lamenting the fact that the weather wasn't worse. They would have preferred a blizzard, blowing winds, anything to derail the Detroit offense. They weren't so sure they were going to do it themselves, but they did.
And that catch is made by Aubrey Matthews, who gets taken down at about the 5 by Jerome Henderson. So one more point, and it will be the highest scoring postseason game in NFL history. Motor City Miscues. I like that alliteration. 7 different Eagles have created the turnovers.
At least they spread it around.
Mikowski on 1st and goal. And he's to the 3-yard line. 2nd and goal with 6 minutes to go. Mike Mamula in on the stop.
Well, I guess it all started poorly for the Lions this week when Lomas Brown gave an interview and guaranteed victory for the Lions. As a matter of fact, I think he said it was going to be over by the end of the 1st quarter. Lomas wished that he could have taken those words back.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be at the center of a firestorm, and he was.
Oh, yeah.
He just had the wrong team.
Yeah, he was prophetic enough, all right.
Boy, Sloan makes the catch, and that's a touchdown.
That's Sloan's 2nd touchdown, is it not? Didn't he?
Yep.
He scored one early on in this ball game.
When it was 7-7 about 4 days ago.
Yep.
So a record has been set. Most total points in a postseason game. 58-27 with the extra point to come.
And I'm sure if you would have asked the Lions beforehand or told them beforehand that you were going to score 27 and maybe 29 here if this is successful, I think they all would have been a little surprised to find out they were going to lose the ball game.
2-point attempt. And it's successful as Ron Rivers takes the ball in to make it 58-29.
What a long ride home.
Last time the Eagles won a title, Frank, back in 1960.
Actually against the Green Bay Packers, and the only postseason game that Vince Lombardi would ever lose. He lost it right here in Philadelphia. Ted Dean running back for the Eagles, scoring from 5 yards out. The Eagles going on to win 17-13 in a Tremendous upset. Chuck Bednarik going both ways in that game as an offensive linebacker and an offensive center.
Some of those guys wearing that newfangled device at the time, a face mask.
A lot of them wouldn't wear it. A lot of them have funny faces today.
Including that guy right there. This crowd, by and large, is sticking around to send their Eagles to the locker room with a show of appreciation. They had reason to leave a long time ago if staying warm was the reason to leave, but there's still a good percentage of this crowd still here at Veterans Stadium. And I can only assume justifiably proud of their Eagles.
Eagles have been to the Super Bowl once in the 1980 season. Dick Vermeil led them to New Orleans when they lost to the Oakland Raiders.
Has to go 10. Remember, it has to cross the 40 here.
Yep. A little high hopper. And nope. Philadelphia winds up with the football.
Saw that earlier in the day with a successful attempt on the part of Miami. It's the play they work on and drill on. Ideally, the kick takes a couple of bounces, then takes the high bounce, and you have somebody deflected into his teammate's arms.
Well, it really worked out pretty well for the Lions. They got the ball into the hands of the guy they wanted. Herman Moore was the guy right along the sideline, and he had his hands on it, but a collision with an Eagles player knocked it loose.
Earlier today, Buffalo a winner, 34-22. They go to Pittsburgh next week.
The kick was last touched by the kicking team prior to going out of bounds, which is a kickoff out of bounds on an onside kick attempt. It's a 5-yard penalty and a re-kick.
We'll see a redo.
I've always thought that was a rule that didn't make a lot of sense to me.
It doesn't.
If you tried the onside kick and you weren't successful in executing it, why do you get another shot? It just doesn't seem to. You're the one that's taking the chance. You're the one that's attempting to get the ball back. If you weren't able to execute it properly, why are you rewarded with another opportunity?
You're rewarded, and then if you do it again here, you're disrewarded, though, because you can only do it one time. So it really doesn't make sense. Disrewarded?
I'm certainly not going to call you out on it.
Here's the kick, redo or redux. Take your pick.
Is that like part deux?
That's it. Absolutely.
Which is like fondue.
Like fondue, sure. A little high hopper.
Got to go 10 yards.
Yeah,
I don't think it did.
9 yards.
They dropped the flag. I don't think it did go 10.
I think Herman came up with the ball at the 9-yard mark.
They marked it right there.
Anything less than 10. Remember, less in this case is not more. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly knew
Very close.
Oh, I got it.
The flag would indicate that they ruled that he didn't. That's the hop you want from the kicker.
Touched by the kicking team before it went 10 yards.
Boy, that was really close.
Ball will belong to Philadelphia. First down.
5 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. 87 points in the game, most ever for a postseason game in the history of the National Football League. Again, most ever by one team, 73 by the Bears in that rout of Washington in 1940. Randall Cunningham. Dan, you mentioned as James Saxon carries that it might be Randall's last game as an Eagle. Had Buddy Ryan not been fired in Arizona, I would have thought a decent chance would have existed for Randall to be there next year, but now who knows?
Well, let's be realistic. I think so much of this and what becomes of Randall depends on Randall and what he's willing to play for economically and how willing is he going to be to fit into a team system. Now, he has been a team player here in Philadelphia. You know, this is a prideful man who's had to take a seat on the bench. But he's making a lot of money, and no one's going to pay him that kind of money to be a backup. Just saying. But having said all that, as we were talking about at dinner last night, there aren't too many quality quarterbacks in the NFL. How's that for a diplomatic way of saying there are a bunch of guys starting at quarterback in this league who could be replaced easily?
Randall's problem is fitting into the offense, which is really the 49er offense, the West Coast offense, whatever you want to call it. And he struggled with it, and finally it was Ray Rhodes who bit the bullet and put him down. And there's so many teams using that offense, he will probably have to make some kind of adjustment wherever he goes.
After Saxon gains 7 to make it 3rd and 3, it's Saxon again, short of the first down by a yard or so.
But then in reality, Frank, the Eagles jettison that offense as well and go to primarily a running attack. You know, they give up on the short passing game and go to Ricky Waters. And Rodney Peete is being asked to do, I guess Ray Rhodes, if he had to supply a definition for Rodney Peete, is Rodney, we don't want you to lose the football game. We want you to play very conservatively. Don't put our defense in trouble. Don't take chances.
4th and 1 at the 26. And it is Saxon. And he's only to the 25-yard line, appears to be a little short. With 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, they do not have the first down, so Detroit has the football. These two teams meeting today for the first time since 1986. It's the first time they've ever met in a playoff game. Haven't faced each other for 9 years, and ironically, Detroit gets to come back to Philadelphia next season during the regular season.
Sure, they'll be thrilled at that prospect.
Yes.
Lomas Brown right there, and another Pro Bowl year for the great tackle. Kevin Glover at center, a Pro Bowler. Herman Moore, Barry Sanders, four starters on this offensive unit headed to Honolulu, but thwarted today.
On the 25-yard line, Herman Moore gets to pad his stats a little bit up to the 33. Whitmore makes the tackle.
Actually had more offensive players on the Pro Bowl squad than either the 49ers or the Cowboys, right?
But stop and think about it. Realistically, they could have had a couple more. Scott Mitchell had the numbers to go, and so did Brett Perriman.
Right. When you catch 108 passes that don't go to the Pro Bowl, you know you're in a pretty tough league. But the NFC had 9 receivers with 100 yards or more, 100 receptions or more.
Sloan makes the catch on 2nd and 2 up to the 41-yard line with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game.
One is a game change. The AFC had 1 receiver. No, not a receiver with 100, but 1 with 99.
This was such an offensive year in the NFC that you could field a pretty good Pro Bowl team out of the people who didn't get an opportunity to go to Hawaii.
Rivers up to the 47-yard line. And Ray Rhodes will have his team preparing for another playoff game this week, either at Dallas.
And this position in the playoffs more than Reggie White, I don't know who that is.
Greg Hendrick will kick off. Back deep for Atlanta, Eric Metcalf and Jamal Anderson. The line drive kick is going to be handled by the dangerous Eric Metcalf. Good return out to about the 34. Travis Jervey made the stop. Let's look at the Atlanta offense led by Jeff George. Over 4,000 yards in front of him. An offensive line that's done a solid job. Whitfield, Tobeck, Fortin, Gene Williams, and Dave Richards. And the explosive receivers, the Ironhead, Craig Hayward behind George, Burton, Mathis, Metcalf, and Emmanuel, the receivers. They spread them out. And the Packers face a challenge in slowing this group down. First down, Atlanta at their own 33. George. Incomplete. Aimed it at Emmanuel. Good coverage. The Green Bay defense. Front four, Jones, Yurkovich, Gilbert Brown, and Matt LaBounty in place of Reggie White. 2 linebackers, Kuntz and Simmons. 5 defensive backs as they open with the nickel. Evans, Teague, Pryor, Butler, and Newsom. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Atlanta with the ball. Three-man front. George, deep, picked off. George Teague, the interception. Teague still on his feet, still whirling close to the 21-yard line. Gene Williams finally made the stop. And those turnovers, as you saw yesterday in Detroit against Philadelphia, they will kill you.
As you said, Pat, the Packers on first down, they were in a 4-man line. This time they went to a 3-man line. They had 3 linebackers in there, 5 defensive backs. Teague was just sitting back there. They had 2 free safeties. He was the free safety on the right side. He read that all the way, and he just jumped right in front at the end.
Timed it perfectly. 1st and 10, Green Bay at the Atlanta 22. Pardon, Morgan. 1st down. D.J. Johnson made the stop, and here's the Green Bay offense led by hot-handed Brett Favre. In front of him, an offensive line that's been together since game 1. Rutgers, Taylor, Winters, Galbraith, and Dotson. Edgar Bennett, the runner. Dorsey Levens, the blocker. Morgan, Brooks, and Shimura. They go with wide receivers. 4 of them. On 1st down, Favre going to work. Incomplete. His intended receiver slipped down. That was Antonio Freeman. Let's look at that Atlanta defense. Few snow flurries begin to fall. Dolman, Gardner, Pierce Holt, and Chuck Smith up front. Darrell Talley, Jesse Tuggle, and Clay Matthews. Over 100 years. D.J. Johnson, Devin Bush, Kevin Ross, Darnell Walker, the secondary. 2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers this time. Tight end to the right side. Bennett's the deep back. Hold it a second. Dick Hantak is the referee, excuse me.
I was just going to say it wasn't too much time because I looked at the clock and there was still time in the clock.
Ball start. Offense number 72. Went to a 3-point stance. Came back up prior to the snap.
Earl Dotson.
Still 2nd down.
Yeah, what the rule is when those offensive linemen, when they get down in a stance and they set, they have to stay set. And here's Dotson here, and what they said that he got down. You see in a 3-point stance, then he got up again. See, when he put his hand down, you can't move your hand. He put his hand down, picked it up, and put it down again.
If he had just left his hand on his knees, that's okay.
Right, he could stay in an up stance, but once he puts the hand down, it has to stay.
They need 15, screen pass to Bennett. And the Falcons covered in a hurry. Chris Dolman played it well.
Yeah, that was a big penalty on Earl Dotson because that put him back. Instead of having normal yardage, that put him in long yardage. Then they run a screen pass. I don't know where that one came from. And they lose again. Now they have 3rd and real long.
18.
And I think now they have their field goal here. So I still think even though it's 3rd and 18, this ball has to be thrown into the end zone. Here's where you take a shot.
They go with 3 wide receivers. Favre rushed and down he goes. Flag on the play as well. Chris Dolman was there.
And that's going to be in the area of offensive holding. And I'm sure the Falcons will turn it down. Well, it's clipping, but it's the same thing. And I'm sure that the Falcons will decline that.
Well, maybe.
The field goal.
If they push him back, they might get him out of field goal range.
Number 73. Penalty is declined.
It is declined. You're right.
Yeah.
You were a coach.
I would think so because even, you know, it's going to be a long field goal, and you're going to see the clip. It's going to be right there, right. You see when he comes back, he gets beat right there in the line of scrimmage. That was Aaron Taylor. and then when he comes back, he clips him from behind.
Just tripped Jumpy Gathers.
And Jumpy Gathers is a tough guy to block. You have to get him any way you can, but not clip him.
Chris Jackie will try from 46 yards out with Hendrick holding. Enough distance, but not good. He pulled it. And the Falcons escape. It's still 0-0, and we're in the first quarter at Lambeau Field.